Hey folks, how's it going? We're checking out more Would I Lie to You. Hopefully you guys had a fantastic day. It's been a little while since we checked out one of these, man. As you guys know, I really like doing this game show, but so many requests come in. I don't want to just do a ton of these and people get tired of them. Sometimes people start commenting they're getting tired of seeing Carl Pilkins and stuff. They wanted more variety, which surprised me because I just saw everybody like Carl stuff and I like Carl stuff. And I guess I get it because at the time I was doing Idiot Abroad, the Ricky Gervais show, little miscellaneous like animations, and then Moaning to Life, but then I was given a copyright strike for that. But yeah, man, so people are starting to get a little tired of that, and I didn't want to do the same thing with Would I Lie to You, man, because I was doing a lot of them. And I've done a lot of them. I think I've done at least 20, about 20 Would I Lie to Yous, and I like them. They're fun, man. But I brought up that I would love to see David Mitchell go on another rant, and I think it was that video that this one started being recommended again. Under the Would I Lie to You videos, and then later on under the Graham Norton video. And also this has been requested a lot on Patreon as well. And yeah, now I'm finally getting around to it, man. And I'm going to do this in parts, just like I did the Carl versus Steve one. It was like an hour and 20 minutes. This is going to be done in parts as well, but not as many parts. I think that one ended up being like 10 parts or something like that. I'm going to try not to do that with this one, so... yeah, man, let's just go ahead and jump into this. We'll talk about it more at the end.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Time out.
Absolutely not! That's it!
Get to the point!
Get to the point is not an exhortation you can fairly make during a parlour game. There is no point. This is a pointless exercise. We are whiling away our finite time before the grave.
This is Rod, and after we accidentally took each other's baggage from the carousel, I ended up having to wear his clothes for 3 days on holiday.
Right, you didn't have proper labels on your case?
Absolutely correct.
Well, that was very remiss.
Well, it was a remiss.
Ooh.
It was Lorraine,
Say
it was
it again.
remiss, or I'm lying.
Aye.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
In which case, it wasn't remiss.
Okay.
Just to clarify, Lee, are you still saying this is true, or has the very suggestion that you might be remiss made you abandon any attempt at playing this game?
I will not be.
I'm not going to be called remiss. Okay, it's nonsense. It's nonsense. I'm not a fool. I actually label my luggage very carefully. I think that's very important, but I'm not for a moment going to pretend otherwise. So you picked up the phone.
I picked up the... You're still doubting my ability.
Are you seriously saying that the fact that you could have physically made this phone call means I should believe that you did?
I picked up
You
the
say,
phone.
look, I could have made the call, I'm physically capable, therefore it happened, David, end of story.
I picked up the phone, I phoned them up, I said, I'd like to donate something. They said, what have you got? I said, Dibber.
You knew its name.
Well, actually, yes.
You knew its name, but you didn't know what it was for.
That's actually not true. I
Okay,
said...
so what did you say?
I took advice before the phone call.
From whom?
From who?
From whom?
I'm not doing it if you put an M at the end.
All right, from whom?
Thank you. Who's putting the M at the end? Do you know what I mean? No one anymore.
Who
no
did
one.
you take advice from?
I shall tell you.
You found a thing in the shed, you didn't know you owned it, you didn't know what it was. Who did you ask about it?
You want to know from who?
I want to know who you asked about that object in order to find out what it was called.
I shall tell you.
Well, please.
David Tennant,
Get
a
to
revival
it.
in Doctor Who.
You asked... you asked Doctor Who.
Doctor Who.
Who did you ask?
Tom Baker.
There are 7 billion humans on Earth. Please, let's not eliminate them one by one.
Madonna has
Like he's
her
actually
toilet seat
irritated.
removed
Hurry
from
up.
every venue she
Get
performs
to it.
at so that no one sells it on eBay.
I mean, the thing is that
Oh,
maybe
no.
by
Does she
removing
really
the
do
toilet
that?
seats, she's created this sort of mystique. Oh, she has to remove her toilet seats, otherwise people will want to sell them. And in reality, no one will want to sell something that her old arse had touched.
So the toilet seat, when they get taken away, where do they go to? A big toilet seat warehouse?
That's the
They
guy
buy a
from
new seat
Phoenix
every
Nights.
time, and then throw it away at the end.
It's a bit obsessive-compulsive, actually, isn't it? It's like people who keep their wee in labelled jars. Actually, true. Very obsessive-compulsive people can sometimes do that. They sort of,
do
as
that?
it were, file their
That's
various
gross.
excreta.
How would you know
How would I know?
about filing those sorts of
Well,
things?
I am a knowledgeable man, and it's part of my knowledge. You know, if I knew how I knew everything I knew, then I'd only be able to know half as much, because it would all be clogged up with where I know it from. So I cannot always cite my sources, I'm sorry. I'm just worried
actually
about these
makes sense.
stars with huge warehouses full of old Lucy's. I don't know why I'm worried about them. There's no reason why I should give a shit whether they live or die.
She's not doing it, is she? She's not got the spanner and putting her thing on. So someone else is coming in, she's totally
Yeah.
unaware of it. Just gets done. One of those things.
Hey, are you, Madonna, I want to get off early. Are you going to need to go again before the end of the gig, or can I remove it now?
I know it's
Because,
not...
I want to get home before 11 if I can, so will you need another shit tonight? I mean, it's fine, I can wait. But maybe you could go now, if you're ready. Lee,
Yes, David.
when did you come to the point of realising that your iPod had just got on top of you and you needed to get in some help?
No, I've got hundreds of albums. I bought the iPod, and I don't know anything about computers, so...
It strikes me that an iPod is a machine for putting music on itself, right? You already have a machine for doing that, and you're paying a person to work that machine. I mean, do you use your own toaster, or do you also subcontract that? So I don't know. I mean, I know nothing about electricity, and so I just give him the bread, the toaster is, and some sort of miracle happens, and it's just a lot quicker that way.
It's all right for you with your private education. I don't understand the basic principles.
They did not,
Stop, boss boy, I'm speaking. I'm telling you now that I understand the concept of getting it from the machine to the iPod. If I'm going to be honest, I don't know how you get it onto the computer in the first place.
Right. Okay.
Unless you put the CD in, which takes forever.
Putting the CD in does not take forever. How does it get from the computer onto the iPod? Down a wire. I mean, you don't have to stand over it. The computer will just sort of do it for
I'm a control freak. I know what's going to happen.
This is so
If
goofy.
you're a control freak, why are you letting someone else do this? If you're so...
David.
Furthermore, if I can ask you to shut up this time,
So you didn't have the guts to say you're working class piece of scum? It's funny, is it, that way?
I actually didn't have the time to get it out because you'd already interrupted.
David, before you get too angry, it is possible that he's lying.
If the iPod thing is true, then you're not the man I thought you were, Lee. And, that's the price you'll pay for this petty victory.
I think it's false.
I think it's so unlikely that it's likely. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
you think it's false?
I think it's false, but go for true if you want to go for true, because you said you've never won.
All right, hissy mother. All right, well, let's go with you, and you better be right. No. You've made it ahead. You can lie on it. I doubt it very much, but John's always right, so I think...
I don't understand why we have to sit here and watch this shit. Now, for God's sake, make your mind up.
I can't imagine any moment in his life where it would make him think, yeah, I'm going to go and see Kill Bill.
Absolutely.
Lee?
Go on, then, it's a lie.
It
They
is
say it's a lie.
a lie.
It is a lie. Well done.
But I have actually seen Kill Bill, and it's interesting that I'm featuring some sort of fusty antiquarian. Oh, he wouldn't go to the cinema. He'll only go and see silent films. No, I have seen Kill Bill. I just managed to remain conscious throughout. The fainting, you could believe. Just going to see Kill Bill. He wouldn't know how to buy a ticket, the love.
I don't know where we got that idea from.
He'd probably try and get a banker's draft.
It's not my brain telling me I'm
You're
flying off
saying
the
that
end.
we're on at the top of a stationary escalator. You
Yes.
in some way are thrown
Yes.
off the end of it
Yes.
as if it were...
As I described.
That's nothing to do with the electrical motor in the escalator that isn't turned on.
I'm not saying it is.
That's because you're using a certain amount of extra energy in order to go up some stairs.
Yes.
And then suddenly it seems easy to go on the... Well, you'll find that at the top of a normal flight of stairs.
No, you won't.
Yes, you will.
Nobody flies off the top of a normal stairs. Hang on a minute. Let's have a go, shall we? Let's give it a little go. Oh, you're right, David. Oh, you're right. You're quite right.
What I'm going to tell you now, Rod, you may not be ready to hear. But the feeling of getting to the top of a normal flight of stairs
Is not the same.
and the feeling of getting to the top of an escalator that is not turned on is the same.
It's not.
It is the same.
It's not.
It is the
It's
same.
not.
This is madness.
What you're saying? You started off saying
I'm not going to discuss it anymore. I've told you the information. At some point, you will accept it. Yes.
Are they hot sausage rolls?
If you want, I'll give you the accurate heat of how they were. This hot.
Why did you throw it off the top? You're there, there's security there. It's a horrible thing to
Because
do.
it-
How fast is a hot, or even quite hot, sausage roll going to be moving by the time it
you're wrong,
hits some
David. No,
poor,
he wasn't quite
morbidly
hot.
obese child
I-
down on the promenade having a miserable time on holiday in Blackpool, of all places, and then he's just heard about the divorce of his parents, consoling himself with another load of high-sugar snacks, and the next thing he knows, a warmish sausage roll hits him slap in the face.
He's trying to eat the second sausage roll.
David Furnish has an Elton tracker sat-nav, so he can see exactly where Elton John is at any time.
That's weird.
So that would actually involve there being Elton being tagged in some way.
Yes, it was developed by David Furnish's brother. It came about as a joke because Elton apparently kept on losing his mobile phone, and so David would never know where he was.
They strapped him to a table and fired a microchip into his ear.
Still not a solution to the phone losing problem, though, is it? I know where I am, but where's my fucking phone? Maybe just Elton John should just concentrate. You can't really interest me in these people, unfortunately. They will do crazier and more miserable things in their lives than this. Wayne Rooney is a man whose skills are vastly overvalued by our society. He can't even count up to the amount of money he's got. And he's going to do a lot of crazy things.
Well, they went out for Chinese.
The whole meal plan of the evening seems very vague. So they were on their way to Chinese, and the sight of a service station distracted them. But then actually the whole glamour of petrol held them up on the forecourt. So then the proposing happens, and then they say, actually, let's not go and queue up with trays. Let's go and impose ourselves on a very strictly catered corned beef and beans evening, meaning that no one has quite enough corned beef and beans. It's typical of the thoughtlessness of the youth of today.
I don't know who that guy was, though.
Oh, God, I no idea.
You don't know who trains it?
I don't know who trains it.
Do you know what colour it is?
Yes, it's brindle.
It's what?
Brindle.
Brindle? You don't get brindle horses.
That's not a colour, that's a character in Lord of the Rings.
You get brindle dogs, but not horses.
What races have you seen it racing?
I saw it in Cheltenham.
What did it race in at Cheltenham? What was the race?
Oh, God, it was some sponsor thing. It was like a Hennessy thing.
How long ago was that?
That was last March. You asked
What
when?
is the date of the meeting you went to?
It was the 3rd or 4th of March this year.
Right, OK.
So you need to know the date in case it was like a horse bank holiday.
How long?
No, 3rd of March. No, horses won't work that day. It's part of their culture. They're all worshipping their horse god. Special hay cakes. Maybe. You've got a horse.
I've got no horse, no, but
Would you like a horse?
Why,
is that what this is about?
No, it's not about the fact that I want a horse. It's about the fact
you want a horse. You're quite a horse guy, and you want a horse, and you're ashamed of saying it because it makes you sound like a 12-year-old girl. You rode Red Rum sort of just around the farm to give him a bit of exercise.
It's not a cow. It was a horse. Racehorses don't live on farms. They live in stables, horse racing yards. They're very professional outfits.
I'm afraid,
they don't go.
to me,
Grand National winner, but I haven't got time to clean him. Let's do chickens.
No, horses are animals. They live in places with other animals in the country. To me, that's a farm. You want to call it a stable? No, I'm not interested. You're wasting your breath.
In a stable.
Oh, it was right in the middle of town, was it?
Well, listen, it happens.
Block of stables.
It's exactly where
What
you are.
floor did Red Rum live on? You gave him a big canter down the staircase.
You see, listen, smart ass, listen. Trainers live around dog tracks. So you've got
trouble now.
David
and dog racing, he knows everything about it.
If there's one thing, listen, if there's one thing I'm going to always beat David on, it's dog racing. Up and down at Walthamstow with me woodbine. What? Run, you little bastard, or I'll shoot
So how much is it? How much is
Where are the pheasants? There's no bloody pheasants. I don't understand. We'll never catch the fox at this rate.
What are you talking about? Pheasants? Dogs? Fox? I mean, what sort of a menagerie do you imagine I would be imagining?
I imagine you
I'm in my castle with 10 different sorts of vaguely posh animal, all fighting each other, then I kill a servant and have sex with the wall. That's who you are! For 50 quid a week, they just needed, you know, some vague text that they wouldn't be held to, saying a period of transition is coming, but it's time not to end hope, but still to be wary. You know, that's
£50 a week for 6 months, once a week, doesn't know anything about star signs, nothing that would make them go, David's the man.
No,
because
I shouldn't be doing
you
it.
are quite articulate.
They should have got a qualified charlatan, but no.
What was the women's magazine?
Top Santé.
You heard of Top Santé?
No, it's like a Christmas mag. What is it?
You not heard of it?
Never. Top
Have you heard of it, Richard? No. Have you heard of it?
Oh, yes.
There we are, thank
Yes.
goodness.
We've not heard of it, have we? If you'd have said...
Oh, it's not aimed at you, is it? Frankly.
Well, it depends how annoying he's being. May I just say, in my defence, obviously I know nothing about horoscopes, but the thing that you most disbelieve, there's definitely a magazine, isn't there?
Yes.
Called Top
Yes.
Santé?
Yes, there is.
I thought I was sitting there, name a woman's magazine. I couldn't think of a thing. One popped into my head, and frankly, I want a medal.
And I turned too quickly and knocked 3 glasses of red wine, I remember everything, 2 glasses of white wine and 4 canapes down a lady's top.
It's a very nasty thing to do, because it's only an accident.
But you were 20.
You were full of apologies at this
Of course I
moment.
was full of apologies. I had some spillage on me, but I didn't, you know, bang on
Didn't
about
blame her.
that.
That was probably a wise course not to go, what are you doing, you stupid bitch? Standing right in my way!
Bono once paid British Airways $1,700 to have his favourite Trilby flown first class to a concert in Italy. Or did he?
Well, I believe that it might cost $1,700 to fly first class on British Airways. So that I can believe.
It was upgraded.
What? Why?
The hat was upgraded.
It was. It was upgraded to fly in the cockpit.
That's not first class, the cockpit.
No, it was upgraded from first class.
To the cockpit?
To the cockpit.
You see, that's you see, never buy a first class ticket. You might end up getting upgraded and having to fly the fucking plane.
I have 5 pigs, all named after my favourite newsreaders.
Which 5 newsreaders?
Can't we guess them? Can't we guess them?
No, we can't.
Yeah,
Please, can we guess them?
You've got absolutely no
Ryan
idea.
Hanrahan. Trevor McDonald.
This is suicide. Are you working for them?
Sorry.
This is the opportunity where Graham has to rattle off 5 newsreaders and you've just handed him 4 on a plate. You idiot.
No, you're right.
Shall we give him more time?
All right.
Would you like a pen and paper, Graham? Maybe we should all leave the room and they can work on an essay about it.
Can I ask?
No, you can't.
Garden.
Silence. What are the name of the 5 newsreaders, please, Graham?
What was the first one you said?
I'm intrigued by this cupboard under the stairs, Richard. I think someone with your income would, by now, or by 1993 even, during your, let's call it heyday, would have had it... I do think you would have had it converted into a downstairs facility.
Is that your view of opulence? That any sort of space under stairs must be fitted for immediate
Any sort of
digestion.
unused space anywhere.
Any money at all. There's something about the combination of wealth, career success, and a little cubbyhole that just says poo. When people say, oh, can I borrow your pen? What I want to say is, absolutely not! Get your own pen, this is mine! However, as part of a scheme I'm working on to try and seem normal would be an exaggeration, but, you know, at least acceptable in broader society, I try not to say that. I try and seem casual about, oh, yeah, borrow my pen, that's fine. And then I'm thinking about it constantly until it is returned. If there's a nuclear war, I don't want to live.
Neither do I. I'm with you.
I don't want to come out of a shelter and try and rebuild society.
And find Kelvin Mackenzie skipping around saying I'm in charge.
I have no skills. I mean, how long? OK, society is destroyed by a nuclear war. How long? In this, basically, we're back to the Bronze Age. How long is it going to be before people start pitching panel shows again? It's going to be at least 2,000 years.
Why were you on the table? What was the occasion?
It was just... there were just a group of us went to this nightclub, you know, on a Saturday night, I think, and got very pissed.
When they said, please stop, what did you say back?
Hammer time!
I I was sort of, if you can imagine this, in a slightly drunken state of self-righteousness. And I sort of thought I wasn't doing any harm.
What kind of music were you into then?
Yeah, you know, whatever was on.
What? A quite fast
What
foxtrot?
music? What
What are we talking about? This is going at some speed. I'm getting on the table.
No, it was, you know, it was pop music.
When
and they
was it?
played
Pop music?
The expression...
Something from the hit parade?
No. The expression pop music is totally legitimate. It is not in the same category as talking about the hit parade. You can say pop music without turning to twee.
Didn't Chris Martin say a while back, on the back of one of his album sleeves, it said, for every album that we make, we're going to plant a tree, sort of all the paper that we've wasted making this CD. And I just thought to myself, can't you just cut out the middleman? Just stop making CDs.
Does he say when every album they make, they plant a tree? I mean, they make an album once every 1 or 2 years. That's been about 4 trees. My dad plants more trees than that, and he hasn't released an album in years.
Mike Reid often does a musical turn at the Tory party conference, and last year it was a 10-minute political rap.
You notice how the whole mood has dropped since we saw a clip of Margaret Thatcher? Nobody wants to live anymore. Oh, yeah, I remember that bitch. Yeah. So what bit of the Tory... Is this like the main assembly bit?
Yes,
after the Shadow Chancellor's done his speech? Yeah, now, as usual, what you're all here for, Mike Reid's 10-minute rap.
Yeah, but you've got to remember that Tories are a bit stuffy and boring, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, they're stuffy and boring, but they're not, you know, complete morons.
I think it's true, because the Tory party are so out of sync with reality that's the sort of thing that they might go, Mike Reid's very popular, isn't he? What about Mike Reid?
It all makes sense.
Yeah. I don't think they could be that out of sync with reality and still know where Parliament is.
No, I don't think it's true.
I just don't think it's true.
Well, I'm prepared to go with that. You're the captain.
We think it's a lie.
You're saying it's a lie, OK. Let's find out if you're right, Lee.
It actually is true. It's a very hard way to do this.
Sorry, how are they ever going to get back into office? Aren't they trying? Is it match fixing? You know, is someone bribing them to be terrible at politics? Mike Reid, 10 minutes, rapping. What the f*** is that? Democracy in this country. You know, the reason Tony Blair can start wars for you know, without asking people is because there's no opposition. You know, it's their fault. It's Mike Reid's fault. The deaths of our servicemen are on his conscience. There are other cards in here like, you know, you had 19 different names for your grandmother. What are they? Granny, Nan,
yes.
a 5-point plan for how to survive in prison. I've got no idea how to survive in prison. Don't go to prison. Only commit crimes you can get away with. Yeah. That was horrible. It's disgusting, isn't it? Half tea, half coffee.
I don't like it when you like the same teaspoons used after a coffee into a tea. So to mix the two together, weird.
Can I ask, how do you make it? Do you make the tea in a pot and the coffee in a cafetiere and then pour it, or do you do an instant and a tea bag?
I've only ever had it with instant. I don't think you'd sort of sully a nice espresso or whatever with a tea bag.
Do you take sugar in your coffee tea?
No, that would be weird.
Sorry. What's it called? They had coffee tea.
You could have called it toffee. That would have sounded right.
There's already a thing called toffee. I think the very fact that he said you wouldn't do it with proper coffee, only instant coffee, shows that he despises it as a concept. Yeah. And he can't bring himself. Otherwise, if you really meant this about coffee, you'd say, I use the finest coffee and the finest tea.
David.
And I blend them exactly together.
Can I just say, calm down, OK? Calm down, dude.
You sound like you've had too many coffee teas today.
I came to a decision in my life 3 or 4 years ago that I wasn't going to continue with my previous battery regime. So I decided I was going to buy a load of rechargeable batteries and have them on a sort of loop. Forever and ever and ever. I would never, ever, ever again, ever
have to buy a battery.
Did the cat pose for you, or did you have
I had to do sittings with the cat.
Shut up!
I
Come
did.
on now.
I did.
You
Sat on
do
a
not
chair.
paint a cat and go, cat, sit on that for 3 hours. The cat moves around.
Yeah, no, and it kept moving around. It was the most annoying cat ever. Because I was like, please,
It's a cat!
sit down.
Yeah. Sit on the stool.
come on,
Why
you
are
can
you
do-
painting a picture of me?
You can do it.
I'll be fine for 3 hours, paint me.
It wouldn't.
You can totally do a sitting with a cat. Cats are very sedentary.
Yeah.
They stay in one place all the time. You can't command the cat, but you say, oh, here's a good moment. The cat seems to be sitting like a wasp.
I once cut off her ponytail on the school bus, thinking she was my mate Paul.
She was a child who didn't know on the bus.
It's starting to sound like a court case, David. Can you back off?
And you attacked her head with a
I
sharp
didn't
object.
attack her. I did not attack a child.
But
on the bus.
mistook a child's head for the head of one of your friends. This is an environment in which you don't know Paul's on the bus at all.
No.
Paul, I
You
don't
just see the back of a little girl and go, there's Paul! Where are my scissors? I thought you might know Paul was somewhere on the bus, and then you see the ponytail and you've only got a moment, quick snip. You don't even know Paul's there. You're just seeing ponytails and snipping away, despite the fact that Paul is apparently wearing a little dress.
She's doing that thing in the photo, that wink thing, isn't she, which always unnerves me, because she does it at the end of the weakest link to sort of say, you know, like, it's all a joke, I'm not really evil. But that's the bit that scares the crap out of me.
And the thing is, though, that wink is the only thing that she used to do that on Points of View as well, and she's sort of trying to say that she's in some way being consistent. Well, in Points of View, she didn't read out the people's letters and then just say, you know, f*** off. Which she does to the answers of the nice people on the weakest link who are trying to win a quiz. So what was the Anne Robinson one called?
Ginger Ice Queen.
Ginger ice cream's really nice.
It's gonna taste of ginger, not of that bitch.
Damn.
Ginger is a recognised pleasant flavour. She's a recognised arsehole. That's totally different.
Sounds like I'd
It's just people who like ginger enough to be able to stomach the side of her face while they eat it. Now, I can believe that those people exist. So that's suddenly it's become a lot more plausible. Suddenly you're saying that ice cream, the flavour of a woman who's undergone loads of surgery, is obsessed with money, and for some reason considers herself witty. No. Ginger ice cream with a picture of that bitch. Yes.
Yeah, he doesn't like her. Jesus Christ. I'm going to stop right there, man. We're 26 minutes in. I'm going to check out the next one in the next couple of days. Should be to finish this about 3 parts. So far, so good. Very, very funny. Just David Mitchell, you know. Ren. It's good. It's funny. I've never seen the chick's other show, but I have seen episodes of The Weakest Link. I'm pretty sure it's the same lady. Like, You Are the Weakest Link. Goodbye. That chick. I've seen some episodes of her stuff. He really don't like her, huh? I'm guessing she's really like evil in real life or something, or a lot of people don't like her. I didn't know that. Also, the person he was talking about was that a politician, one who was like doing a rap song. That was goofy as shit. Why would you have somebody rap for 5 minutes? Even if it was a professional rapper, why would you do that? I don't know. Why would you even weave that into like politics? Not just in the UK, I mean in general. Whenever they start crossing those things over, it's just silly to me. Usually do stuff like that, you pander to a certain demographic of people, and I'm assuming the guy did it because he was doing that, pandering to people. And that whenever somebody's pandering, it reminds me of the Hillary Clinton thing when she was in an interview. This black guy who was interviewing her, I can't remember his name. I think it was the guy from the morning show. I can't remember. He said, "What's the one thing you don't leave the house without?" This lady said a bottle of hot sauce. I was like, oh my God. She's clearly pandering. She clearly thinks like black people are like, yeah, that's what's up, man. She carry hot sauce. I'm gonna vote for her. Like, Jesus Christ, man. But yeah, I don't like getting into politics. All it does is cause a bunch of people being pissy in the comment section, so I don't really like talking about politics, but that's just what it made me think about when he said a guy was rapping for 5 minutes. Like, dude, that is cheesy as shit. Like, why would you do that? That's super goofy. But this is good, man. I really enjoyed this. I look forward to watching the rest of this, man. And like I said, we're going to do this in multiple parts. I believe we can finish it in 3 parts. I'm looking forward to checking out the rest. I don't want weeks to go by to finish this. That's what happened with the Steve versus Carl thing, because I was juggling so much other stuff, trying to fit it in, you know what I mean? And I don't want the same thing to happen with this, you know? I know for a while people asked for the Bob one, and I held off on the Bob one and just did the clips with Bob, like the 8 to 15-minute clips. I forgot who said it, but somebody said that I did too many clips to do the compilation because now I know too many of his stories. You know what I mean? And that's one of the reasons I don't like compilations, because not everybody watches the compilations or know about the compilations. Or so if they look for a specific moment, they don't necessarily know that it's in this compilation, if you know what I mean. So then I keep getting requests for something I already reacted to in a compilation. So that's why I usually prefer to keep them separate, and I don't really do a lot of compilations. Unless it's like a compilation of like road rage or things like that. But when it comes to shows, I try try not to do that because, like I said, those requests still continue to flood in because people don't know it's part of the compilation, if that makes sense. But I make exceptions sometimes. All right, guys, man, that is it, man. That is all for this one. Hopefully you guys are happy, safe, and healthy, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.